Hey everybody, it's Saturday. Welcome to day 6 of how to stick to your plan. Let's see, what do we got today? So today, day 6, is about self-compassion. So this is Pat Beaupre Becker, certified weight and life coach. And I want to share with you some additional tools and tips that are going to help you to stick to your weight loss goals. And I find that this one is something that people maybe scratch their heads about. How can self-compassion have anything to do with the food that I eat and what I do, whether I stick to my plan or not? So I think that if you are, I'm assuming that you are a woman approaching 60 years old, maybe you're 70 years old. And these tips are here to help you to stick to that plan that you have tried to stick to over and over again, but somehow your goal weight eludes you, and there's always a reason. So each of the strategies that I've been offering in this series, so far 6, and there'll be additional to 14 days, is to help you to see that there are things you can do, small things that you can do each day in your life that can help you, that can kind of really give you support and ensure that you can stick to your plan. So last night I talked a lot about desire, and it was all dramatic about desire. Today I really want to lighten up and just talk about self-compassion. So the reason that it's important is because I want to ask you a question. Do you value yourself? I mean, do you really value yourself? And the reason I ask is that a lot of my clients, and of course I struggled with this myself, but many of my clients, when it comes to sticking to their plan, part of the problem is they put everyone else ahead of themselves, and they don't put themselves as a priority. They don't see themselves as a priority. They're kind of way at the bottom of the list. And you know who you are if that's the case. And so we think that that sense of self-sacrifice is making us a better person. And yet at the same time we suffer. And in the end, if we are suffering and we have less energy and we have less health, we're not in a position where we can help anybody. So I want to also let you know that you may have heard lots of information about self-compassion and self-love, and it could be like la, 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 you know, whatever, people talking, and it goes right in one ear and out the other. And I just had that experience myself this morning as I was watching my brain. I was listening to some presentation that I wanted to hear, and I had heard some of the information before, and the next thing you know, I realized my brain was totally gone. I was out of the picture. So I want you to stop. I want you to listen. If you have heard anyone else tell you self-compassion is important, I want to know right now, if you can, go below in the comments and let me know what are you doing that's different to help yourself be more self-compassionate with yourself. So if you've heard this over and over and over again, then I want to know, why aren't you doing anything different? Or if you are doing something different, let us know. Share what you're doing to be more self-compassionate towards yourself. So what I want to do is, I was at a celebration at my church, my husband's church actually, the other day. And there was a prayer that was invoked at the end. And let's see if I can find that prayer. And so the prayer was asking, this is the way it went: grant me the grace this day to greet every person that I meet with understanding and compassion. Reveal to me their needs and give me the means and inspire in my heart the humility and generosity to be kind. And as I was listening to the reading of this prayer, one of the things that struck me was, how many times do we meet ourselves with compassion and understanding? How many times are we trying to reveal to ourselves what is it we need? How often do we understand the things that we need? And I would vow to say that often, even if you kind of get an inkling of what you need, you're not really paying attention or following up on how you can receive those needs. Now, of course, if you have issues with food, maybe you're using food to, quote, meet your needs, right? Maybe you're using food to feel better, to de-stress. And the result of that is not better health. The result of that is disappointment in yourself, not reaching your goals, and not finding within yourself what it is you need and how to give yourself the things that you need. So you want to reach your goal weight, you want to stick to your plan, and you know sticking to your plan is the only way it's going to get there. So are you kind and compassionate to yourself as you're on the way? If you make a mistake, do you just like throw up your hands, call yourself some names, and then give up? Or do you realize that life is what it is? You have these habits, and you just have to kind of start all over again every day. Do you realize that the day you were born, you are a miracle? That there's only one of you, and the miracle of you is valued? All the things you've done in your life, all the mistakes you've made, all of the good things you've done that have brought you to who you are today, that's self-compassion. That is cultivating love, inclusive compassion, including yourself and your desire to be compassionate to the world. So food is the way we nourish our bodies, and self-compassion is the way we nourish our souls. And together with self-compassion and with habitual practices, new practices where you nourish your brain. So what I want you to do now is I want you to, the next time you notice that you're stressed, I want you to stop and take 6 breaths. The next time you notice that you're speaking mean words to yourself, criticizing your butt, your belly, your hair, your neck, your eyes. Come on, we all do it. And the older we get, I think it's almost sometimes easier to do it because everyone around you is like thinking, man, getting old ain't so great. But the truth is getting old is fantastic, because what is the alternative? If you're not getting old, you're not living. So I want you to learn. It's time, okay? Learn compassion. I want you to make a promise. Okay, let's see. I've got these written down. I will practice compassion for everyone, including myself. That's something you can start the day with. I will learn to speak to myself the way I speak to my loved ones. I will put my own needs equal to my loved ones. Because how often we take care of the grandkids and the kids and the family and again, or our partners, and we're last on the list. So if you are not having compassionate practices that you do every day, I want you to do one tomorrow. Just add one little practice. Even if it's just like, what do I want to do for fun? What do I want to do for fun? What makes me happy? Even if it's just keeping it really simple by eating whole foods, eliminating as much flour and sugar as you possibly can out of what you eat, learning about healthy foods. Just do one little thing that shows some self-compassion. And I'm telling you, as you start to change, as you start to value yourself, eating healthy, it's a piece of cake. I can't believe I said that. Eating healthy is just an easy choice. It's an easy decision. So that just goes to show you how our language is so filled with eating food, right? It's funny. Okay, so that's my little talk today. Self-compassion. Love yourself. Practice self-compassion. Or even just notice when you're not. That will be a lot of information. All right. So now the second part of day 6 is going to be the scale. How the scale is your friend. At least the scale is my friend. So it happens to be lunchtime, and maybe a lot of you are just getting ready to have your lunch. So I'm going to share with you my lunch today and show you how the scale is my friend. There are a lot of women, especially powerful women, women successful like yourself, women in their 60s like yourself, and they don't like to be told what to do. They want to have spontaneity. They want to have, I guess it's like this idea of choosing what they want. And yet, they say they want to stick to their plan. They say they want to lose weight, and then they choose not to. And then they think someone's telling them that they should, or someone's telling them what to do when they're the ones who made the choice. So for me, the scale is just a tool. It helps me to figure out what it is I'm going to eat. I know that when I eat this amount of food, I maintain my weight. Now, I've been maintaining 40-pound weight loss for at least 5 years now. And once before, I did it for another 5 years. So the scale is really just like my friend. Like, I just see it as a friend. I don't see it as an enemy. I don't see it as someone trying to control me. I see it as a helper. So if you can think about your scale in a more friendly way, perhaps you might consider using it. Now, it's not for everybody. Not everybody needs to weigh their food, but I find that weighing my food is really makes my life very, very simple. So I know you guys like to know about what brand of scale, and I don't think it matters. This one, if you can see it, it's so old actually, the button is worn out. But this is a Salter. And then I also have another scale that I use because when I travel, I need to have another scale. It's always good to have a backup in case the battery goes and I don't have a battery. But I also use this one as my travel scale, or if I'm running out of batteries, I just pull out this one, the Good Grips. But I think there's lots of scales on Amazon, and I think it's pretty easy to find a really good scale. So here's the scale, and it just so happens to be lunchtime. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you again, I've done this before, but show you how easy it is with the scale to put my lunch together. Now, of course, you were with me the other day. I'm still having these roasted vegetables that we've been talking about. So it's cauliflower, and it smells so good. I know, I really mean it. It smells good. It's got cauliflower and sweet potato and onions, and it has celery, and it is really delicious. So what I'm going to do, and then I think we put some pepper, salt, and rosemary was pretty much it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share with you. Today I'm having a simple lunch, and I love eating out of a bowl. I don't know why, but my husband likes a plate, I like a bowl. So what we do is we put it on the scale, and then we get the scale to go to 0. So there is the scale at 0 with the plate already on it. Now I'm going to weigh out, not having a salad today, I'm going to have all vegetables. So I'm going to actually do 12 ounces, which is going to be a lot. So I just look at the scale, and it's going up, or whatever. And so I have my vegetables. Get some cauliflower in there. Whoops. Cauliflower, we love and carrots. There's carrots in here as well. And let's see, that's 8, and I'm gonna go all the way to 12. It just seems like a lot, but usually I have 6 ounces of salad and 6 ounces of vegetables, but today I'm just gonna have the vegetables. So that is 11. I get another cauliflower in there, and that is 12 1/4. So actually I take a little piece off, and now I'm at 12. So that is my vegetables. Normally it would be 6 of salad, 6 of vegetables. Today it's going to be all vegetables. And then I'm also going to have some cheese as my protein today, and I've already weighed it out. But so this is 2 ounces of cheese, and I'm going to just put it right on my vegetables because it's kind of fun to have melted cheese on my vegetables. It's a little different than a cold salad. So I'm just going to put that cheese on my vegetables. Okay. And now I'm just going to stick that in the microwave. And I'm going to do it just for 2 minutes. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to weigh out my fruit. So again, I put the bowl on the scale, and then I go to 0. And now my husband we had this beautiful watermelon, and I tell you, I love the smell of watermelon. It's one of my favorite smells in the world. And so he cut this wonderful watermelon up for me because he's an amazing husband. And I am going to weigh out 6 ounces. And okay, that's 4. And the reason I kind of like to be precise is just because, I don't know, if I say I'm going to have 6, that's that perfectly. That is 6 ounces. of fruit. So that's that. Now I have been also adding 1 tablespoon of coconut butter, which I will grab here. And this is a treat that I really enjoy, and it's coconut butter by Artisana. And I just take a tablespoon and I just put it on there, and that's how I kind of spread it out eventually. But that is my coconut butter, so that is my oil. So that is pretty much it, and now I'm ready to have my lunch after I pull it out of the microwave, which is happening in the back. So it's really easy when I have a scale, when I have the food already prepared, to just kind of make my meal. And I did my little neat. I went out for a walk before I came in and talked to you, and so I had my neat, and hopefully I'll get a little bit, not hopefully, I will do a little weight training. One of the things about being 64 is that I know bones get frail and fragile, and so I do a little bit of weight training, which is for me just like an 8-pound weight that I do for my arms, and do some leg not extensions, but some reverse lunges for my legs. So I think it's important to continue to have the whole foods, to get these wonderful tips so that sticking to your plan is not a problem, right? Keeping promises to yourself, it's such a joy. Living with, when you put down what they used to say, when you put down that food that seemed in the past to make you so unhappy or so unhealthy, you start to get a new sense of love of life. But if you meet yourself with criticism and meanness, well, that kind of puts a damper on things, right? So you want to learn how to be self-compassionate, how to, sometimes we fumble through life. Life does not come with instructions. And so we try and help each other pass on our best practices. All the tips that I'm sharing with you are things that have worked for me, and I want to help you make it easy, help you to be successful. So that's what we're doing. So that's it, my scale. Oh, I did have one other thing. You know me, I love my little stuff. But I just read this book, and it's called Healing Mushrooms. And there is so much research now about mushrooms, and it's an amazing, mushrooms have so much healing power and have so much, some really good things for our bodies. And one of the things is my new favorite things, which I've been sharing my new favorite things, is this mushroom coffee. So it's called Mushroom Coffee Mix, and it's actually coffee with lion's mane and chaga. And it is incredible because it has a quality to give me energy. You know, I do love my coffee, but this kind of energy I get from this is, I don't know, it's different. I really feel really good, and people and nations have been using mushrooms, ancient nations have been using, peoples rather, have been using mushrooms for energy and for health and for healing for centuries, and we're kind of just catching up on it. But this is an easy way to get to intake those mushrooms, to get that better energy. It's kind of really, it's not like like an energy drink, which I really, which is just filled with caffeine. So I highly recommend, if you're looking to get some energy, to try the chaga, to try lion's mane and chaga, which is made by this company, Four Sigmatic. And actually, the founder is the one that wrote this book. It's called Healing Mushrooms. Highly recommend it. So I think that's it. I'm going to have my lunch now. I'm going to pull it out of the microwave. Fantastic. It's got all my melted cheese on all of my vegetables. And then I'm going to take my bowl of watermelon, and I'm going to go off to eat. So I hope you have a fantastic Saturday, and I'll see you tomorrow.